Hello friends. In the previous class, we have discussed what is a static method and what is a non-static method and the usability of a static method and non-static method, right? So today in this class, we'll discuss what is a local variable and what is an instance variable and what is the accessibility of an instance variable and what is the usability of an instance variable. Okay. So basically what is in a variable means, so giving name to the value is called as a variable. Okay. Here for this value we are giving a name a. Okay, so this is in a variable. Okay, as it is in a number we are saving in the integer. Okay, but basically so giving the name to this value. Okay, so this is called as a variable here. So we'll have two types of variables. One is in a local variable and other is an instance variable. So let me explain what is a local variable and what is an instance variable, so through program. Okay, so here I have created a class called as a variable demo. So I would like to create a method. Okay, so method called as a fun method. To make ourselves understand, so let me create a variable here. So int a is equals to 10 or int a. Okay, I'm declaring a variable. So if you declare a variable inside this method, okay, if you declare a variable inside the method, so it is called as a local variable. If you declare a variable inside the method, it is a local variable. Okay, so what is the accessibility of the local variable means we can access within this method. Okay, we can access this variable within this method. And what the thing we need to remember regarding the local variable means, a local variable should assign a value. If you don't assign a value, it will gives an error. Okay, so not at a declaring time. Okay, when you are using that, no, when we are trying to use that variable, we'll get an error message. Okay, the local variable should assign a value. Okay, if you don't assign a value, okay, suppose here I'm saying local variable, and here I'm trying to print so this a value, so I get an error message. Why? Because a local variable should assign a value. If you don't assign a value, I'll get an error at using time. Okay, so thus we need to remember the local variable should assign a value. So here I have assigned a value 10, so thus I'm not getting any error here, right? So this is a local variable. And what is an instance variable means, if you declare a variable outside the method and inside the class, it is an instance variable. So this is an instance variable. So what is the accessibility of the instance variable means, we can access throughout the class. We can access throughout the class. And again, why I'm naming here it as a and here it as a means to make you understand. So this is, this a is different and this a is different. Okay, this is a local variable whereas this is an instance variable. So what is the accessibility of instance variable? I can access throughout the class. So thus I'm trying to access. Okay, so here, okay, in the sun method. So instance instance variable. Okay, so here I'm trying to access the instance variable. So here I'm not getting any error. So instance, no need to assign a value. Okay, what is the thing we need to remember for with respect to instance variable means, if you don't assign a value, okay, for instance variable, okay, if you don't assign a value also, it don't gives any error. Okay, if it is not giving any error, so what it is going to print? Okay, so for integer it will print the default values. Okay, for integer it will print 0. Okay, for float it will print 0 0.0. Okay, for string it will print null. Okay, it will print the default values here. Okay, so let me run this program and let me check. Okay, so what we are getting. So no, so I'm not able to run this. Why I'm not able to run this? So because I don't have any main method. Okay, so I need to create a main method. Okay, so as these are the non-static methods. Okay, so how to access the non-static methods? In order to access the non-static methods, I need to create an object reference. Okay. How to create an object reference with new keyword followed by class name. Okay, so we'll be an object will be created. For that object we are pointing some reference called as obj. So this obj will becomes a reference to that object. And now with this obj with the dot operator, okay, so I'll call fun method. Okay, so where I'm using the local variable, and I'll call the sun method, so where I am using the instance variable. Let me run the program. Okay, so now so here I'm getting local variable as 10, instance variable value as 0 here. Okay, so let me summarize the local variable. What is a local variable? If you declare a variable inside the method, okay, so that is called as a local variable. What is the accessibility of the local variable? We can access within this method. And what the thing we need to remember regarding the local variable means, a local variable should assign a value. Okay, if you don't assign a value, okay, so when you are using that, okay, when you are using that you get an error. Okay, so the local variable should assign a value, right? Okay, this is all about a local variable. And what is an instance variable? If you declare a variable outside the method and inside the class, so this is an instance variable. So what is the accessibility of the instance variable means, we can access throughout the class. Okay, I have declared here and I'm using here, okay, the sun method. Okay, for instance variable, okay, if you don't assign a value also, we don't get any error. In that case, what it is going to print means, it will print the default values. For integer it will print 0, for float it will print 0 0.0, for string it will print null. Okay, right. So now let me explain what is usability of a local variable and instance variable. Okay, so what is usability of a local variable and instance variable means, so whenever you are preferring in a static programming, okay, we'll declare the variables as in a local variables. So what is in a static programming means, so giving the values in the program itself, okay, is called as a static programming. So there we'll prefer the local variables only. Why? Because the local variables will ask, it will ask for any values. Okay, so thus will give the values in the program itself, and that is in a static programming. Okay, and what is in a dynamic programming means, giving the values at runtime is in a dynamic program. Okay, so whenever you are working with the dynamic programming, we'll declare the variables as an instance variable. Because for instance variable, if you don't assign a value also, it don't gives any error. Okay, so thus will pass that values at the runtime. Okay, so that is in dynamic programming. All the web applications are dynamic programs only. For example, okay, suppose I'm working within a login form, so where I had a username and the password. Okay, I should declare these variables as an instance variables only. If I declare it as in a local variables, it will ask for a value, right? If I give some name, okay, only, okay, so only this person can log in. Okay, so thus we should not declare, okay, this as an a local variables. Okay, so we need to declare this as an a instance variables only, so that we can give these values at the runtime. Okay, so let me explain this through program. Okay, I've created a class name with a dynamic program. Okay, okay, suppose login method. So here I should not, right? Okay, here I should not create the username and the password. Why? Because it will ask for the name. Okay, so thus I'm not declaring. So this here, okay, I'll declare the username and the password as an instance variable only. String username, string password. I'll create in a main method. Okay, so to make you understand what is in a dynamic program, okay, I'll pass these values, okay, through arguments at runtime. Okay, we'll see how to pass. Okay, for the username I will assign argument 0, assign argument 0. Okay, and for password, okay, so here we are getting an error. Why we are getting an error means, this in a static method, the static method will access only the static variables. Basically it's an instance variable, we are declaring it as in a static because to access this in the static method. Okay, accordingly for password, okay, for password I will assign argument 1. So this also I'll make it as static because A static method will access only the static variables. So now I will print this. I'm printing username and password. Right. So now I will give the values at runtime through these arguments. Okay, we'll see how to give that. So let me save this one. So run as, so instead of running, okay, so go to the configuration, run configuration. Okay, so here you see a tab called as arguments tab. Okay, okay, here what is the first value you give? Okay, it will take is the argument 0. Okay, argument 0. Let me maximize this. Okay, argument 0. Okay, and the second one will take argument 1. Okay, I'm giving some password. Okay, right. Okay, so apply and I'm running. So here I'm getting an output as jack and this password. Okay, this password. Now let me change. Okay, at runtime I'm changing the values. Okay, so this time I'll go with a different one. Okay, and different password. Okay, and run. Okay, we're getting output as username as Jill and a different password here, right? So this is how so instance variable is used for the dynamic programming. Hope you understood. Thanks.